welcome to the Hot Mess Express, also known as Last Week Tonight's weekend cousin who drinks too much. I'm your host, Nikki-Laren, and tonight we're diving headfirst into the news since this Saturday night is going to be filled with questionable decisions. Grab yourself a glass of wine and let's get down to it. We begin tonight in Poland, where the presidential debate featured a man who, in the middle of a live national broadcast, appeared to snort cocaine. That's right, in a moment usually reserved for awkward handshakes and recycled talking points, this man said, "You know what this debate needs? A bump."
Budujemy specjalne opiekuńczo-lecznicze dla...
The best part of that clip is no one on stage reacted. Not a flinch, not even an eyebrow raise. Which suggests that either this is completely normal in Polish politics or everyone on stage was on cocaine. Man, being a politician sounds like a sweet gig these days. Yes, it's Pride Month. Suddenly, Bank of America is bisexual, Lockheed Martin is non-binary, and Walmart selling rainbow thongs like they're the antidote to systemic inequality. For 30 magical days, your favorite brands wrap themselves in rainbow flags while quietly donating to politicians who treat queer rights like choose your own adventure book, where every option ends in tears and a GoFundMe for top surgery. Because when Raytheon starts tweeting, "Love is love," you have to wonder, do they mean that, or are they just soft launching the world's first pride-themed drone strike? Another shocking story tonight, the ceiling collapsed at the cinema during a showing of Final Destination in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Luckily, nobody was seriously injured, but let all millennials take this moment to say, "I fucking told you so!" Oh wait, I'm gonna need a drink for this one. In other news, the latest TikTok trend asks, could 100 unarmed men beat a gorilla in a fight? Let me answer that for you. No! That gorilla would rip through those dudes like Elon through a bag of ketamine. Which, speaking of, not content with merely theorizing about fights with other tech moguls, Elon reportedly tested the concept himself by challenging a toddler to a fight. And folks, he got wrecked.
So, I was just forcing around with little X, and I said, go ahead, punch me in the face, and he did. Turns out even a 5-year-old punching you in the face, actually.
Musk showed up to a news conference at the White House with a black eye that his 5-year-old son allegedly gave him. I guess your kids turn to a life of violence when they're named beep beep boop bop boop bop. This was clearly a hack job, folks, because when I tell kids to beat the shit out of me, I tell them to leave no visible trace. If you find that hard to believe, you might prefer my theory that no one told the eccentric billionaire that he can buy drugs with actual money. And instead he's been negotiating with Johns, giving blowjobs in truck stop bathrooms for horse tranquilizers. Now, I'm not saying it's true, but I'd like it to be. And if it is, at least he's finally disrupting the sex work industry. Hey Steve, isn't that why you always stop for gas on the I-94? Oh, you guys are gonna love this one. In other news from the Adirondack Park in upstate New York, 2 hikers called 911 to report that a third member of their party had died. But it turns out they had taken hallucinogenic mushrooms and were mistaken. Far from falling down a ravine, Steve had looked down at his body from above and thought, "This is my rebirth." For you, that may be ego death. But for your friends, it's holy fucking shit, he's actually dead. Apparently, the member who died also called the police later and said he was doing well. Park rangers escorted the two hikers down to an ambulance, which took them to a hospital, and brought the third member to the group's official campsite, where presumably they all met up later to lick toad venom and engage in ecstatic dance. Sounds like Steve's perfect weekend. Anyway, that's all for the news portion of the Hot Mess Express. I'm your host, Nikki-Laren. Thank you for watching.